Hi, this is Todd Hayes with Free Indeed Ministries, and I want to talk to you today about how getting married is going to solve all my problems sexually. I hope you see that that's a myth. We Christian men who have this presupposition that if I can just get married to a Christian woman, then I'm going to have a valid expression of my sexual relationship that I have longed for my whole life. Problem is, when we battle with sexual sin or sexual addiction, it's a secret battle. We don't let people into this battle because of the shame. We know it's wrong. And because of that, our thinking never gets challenged. And so there's a lot of lies that we've believed that become problems. And this is why having a Christian wife is not going to solve all your sexual issues. Number one, you've been struggling with this since you were very young, usually. Almost always the guys get exposed at 9 or 10 years old. And so this has been a pattern in our lives for a long time. Secondly, you and I have objectified women. And we see them as objects. And so how can I all of a sudden flip a switch? Now that I've gotten married, I no longer am going to objectify my wife. That's not going to be the case. You're going to struggle with that, and your wife's going to feel it. In fact, she could feel like she's being used by you because you just want her for sex. You don't want to connect with her on an emotional or spiritual level. And that leads me to my next reason, is that sexual addiction is primarily an intimacy disorder. That's why guys will get addicted to pornography. There's the thrill of the sex without any of the connection or responsibility. And so we've patterned our lives this way, and then when we get married, all of a sudden, our wives are wanting to connect with us on an emotional level. We've never done that. We don't want that. We're afraid of that, so we hide and we want just the sex because that's what makes us feel close to them. In fact, when we're having sex with our wives, where are our minds? Our minds are loaded with all kinds of images and past experiences. So if we're lusting for someone else and we're physically present with our wife, Jesus says that's adultery. So you and I are going to have a lot of issues, and our wives are aware of these things. Even if they can't articulate them, they can sense something's not right. For many of us men that have battled with sexual sin, we often come to this false belief that sex equals love. Now, you may say, Todd, that's ridiculous. I don't believe that. No way. Sex doesn't equal love. Well, then let me ask you this question. When your wife doesn't want to have sex with you, how do you feel? Do you feel rejected? Do you feel like she doesn't love you? Do you pout? Do you walk around the house and say, man, if I was only married to her, or why can't my wife be available to me sexually? She doesn't really love me. Those are all lies. She loves you. However, you are viewing sex as an equivalent to love. And I know this because I used to think that. Well, our minds need to be challenged. We need to be sharpened. That's why it's critical for you and I to be in a group of other men who are battling this issue. You see, getting married is not going to fix your sex addiction. Absolutely not. What's going to happen is you're going to hurt your wife because you're bringing all this baggage into the marriage. Now, some of us come clean with our wives and tell them before we get married. I encourage you, if you're going to get married, you need to tell your future spouse where you're at, the whole thing, before you do. Give her the decency of that opportunity to run away, cut it off, or whether she wants to hitch her wagon to you and say, I'm in it with you together. There's a lot of things that we believe that aren't true, but getting married just to solve our sexual addiction is not going to help things. We had it long before our wives were involved, and we got to come to terms with it. I hope this video helps you. We want to encourage you to like us on Facebook if you're on it. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're praying for you, and we pray the Lord blesses you.